In this video, I'll show you how to create a twisted text animation in After Effects, and you don't need any plugin to create this effect. So without much further ado, let's get started with the video. In After Effects, this is the composition I'll be working with. So I'll press Command K to open up the composition settings. So I'll just call this text, and then for my width, I'll allow it at 1000 and the height 1000. Now, one of the most important thing here that we need to change is the renderer. So by default, it will be set to Classic 3D, but you need to change it to Cinema 4D. This is because we are going to be using the geometry option, so we need this for that to be visible. And you hit on OK. I'm going to start with the text, and I'm just going to type in a basic word like text. And one thing you should notice that it's preferable for you to use a text that is actually long. It will really make the effect to be very visible and good. So I'm going to select these, and then I'm just going to reduce the spacing between the letters. And the name of this font is Impact, just in case you want to use the same fonts. Then I'm going to position this at the center of my composition and make sure that the anchor point is at the center by holding the Command key, then double clicking on the pan behind tool like so. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to right click on the text layer, go to create, then create shapes from text. So what this does is that it creates shapes out of this text layer, and then I'll change this to a 3D shape. Open this up, then go to geometry options, then open it up, and for the extrusion depth, I'm going to set this to about 30. So I'm going to change the camera angle to the custom view 1. Now you will see that it has some kind of thick edges. It has been extended behind. So if I change this back, let's say to 0, you'll see that it is flat. And when I set it to 30, it gives it some other dimension, which we are going to use. Next, I'm going to open the contents. And for the contents, you'll see all of the text that we have typed. So I'm going to select all of these, then go to Add, Front, then Color. Same thing, I'm going to go again to Add, this time around back and Color. Go to the search bar, search Color, so that all of the colors will be visible. Then I'm going to change all of these to white, but you can use any color, but it's preferable for you to use white while you are still learning. So I'll close this up. Then with the layer selected, I'm going to change this fill color to any color that I want. So I'm going to use something like this. I think this is preferable, and hit on OK. Then I'll change this back to active camera. Select the layer again, press R for the rotation, and then if I change this value to 25, so that just the side view will be visible, you'll notice that it's blue, and same thing here. The other side is blue. So what I've done is that I just want the side to have the blue color, not the entire back or the front. So the back is white and the front is having a white color. So I'm going to close this up. Next, we are going to start animating. And for the animation, we are going to use an effect known as a time displacement. And to use this effect, the first thing I'm going to add is a solid layer. And for the solid layer, I'm just going to allow it like so, and I'm going to give the name, let's say map, and hit on OK, because we are going to use this in a second. Then go to the effects and presets and search gradient ramp and add it on top of the solid layer. So I'm just going to close this up, but I'll get back to this in a second. I'll add in an adjustment layer by simply right clicking, new, then go to adjustment layer. And same thing, you can follow this to add in the solid layer. When you right click, you go to new and you see solid, but I use the keyboard shortcut Command Y for that. So I'm going to hide this solid layer, then select our shape here, which is this text outline. Press arrow, that's for the rotation. Set in the first keyframe for the Y rotation, move about 2 seconds ahead. And for the second keyframe, I'm just going to set this to 1 so that it has a complete 3D rotation. Select the 2 keyframes, hit F9 to easy keyframes. Go to my graph editor and make sure that it's set to edit speed graph. Select the first handle, which is this. Try to position it and notice that it is at 70. Go to the other side and make sure that it's also at 70 so that it will be at the center. And when I play this, you will see how it will animate. So now we want the text to be twisted, and this is where we are going to use a time displacement effect. So I'm going to go under the effects and presets, search time displacement, and place it on top of the adjustment layer. And for the time displacement layer, I'm going to choose the map, which is a solid layer we created. And since we added the gradient ramp effect to it, we are going to see the effects and mask option. So for the mask displacement time, which is the time you will use to animate. I'm going to set this to 0.3, and then for the time resolution, it's preferable to set this to 500. So this will smooth the edges of the shape layer and make it to be less pixelated. And it's preferable that you use the value 500 and below unless your computer is powerful enough to handle the processing, since we are using a Cinema 4D renderer, which is a GPU and not the processing power of your laptop, but a GPU. So if you have a stronger GPU, it would be preferable that you go with a higher value with this. But if you don't want to stretch out your computer, it's preferable to use a value 500. Now, when I play this, you see how it will be twisted as it rotates. To make this to be more interesting, I'm going to make each letter to start animating individually, that is one after the other. So I'm going to select the first layer, press Command Z to duplicate it, and make sure that it's 4 times. That is for the 4 letters. So I'm going to open up the first layer, go to content, and since I want the text, just this letter T should be visible, I'll select these other letters and delete. Same thing with this other layer. I'm going to select everything except the letter E and delete, and I'll do this with the other layer. Select all of the layers, press U so that all of the keyframes will be visible. So I'm going to press the Command key or Control key if you're on the Windows, then the right arrow key 3 times to move 3 frames ahead. Reposition this keyframe, same thing, reposition this other keyframe, and again to reposition this other keyframe. I'm going to select all of these layers while holding the Command key or the Control key if you're on the Windows. I'm going to click on the pan behind tool to position the anchor points of each individual layer or each individual letter at the center of each of the letters so that it rotates from the center of. And if done correctly, you have something like this at the end. And that's how you can create a twisted text animation in After Effects with no plugin. And that's it for today's video. Hope you found the video useful and interesting. Implement what you've learned and leave your feedback down in the comment section below, and I'll be there to always read your comments and reply to them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to support the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, keep editing.